Welcome to the Painted Drawer, and in today's video we're taking an early American dresser, using a customer's inspiration pick and transforming it and creating a new and updated piece with a vintage feel. The first step is always prep, and in this case the little chest of drawers had quite a bit of damage, so I first sanded and then I went back, like I do sometimes, with a razor blade to get off all of the residue on the piece. I then sanded the decals on the front to create a smooth finish for painting. The paint that I'm using for the base coat is Behr's chalk paint line. The color is Shasta Lake, and I did a cabinet in this, and I'll link that video in the description. And I am taking off the old drawer pulls, which are actually pretty interesting. They're ceramic with brass, and once those are off, I can continue applying the first coat of the Behr chalk paint. Now, even though I did prep really well, as you saw earlier, I sanded back and used my razor blade. The top had rings, and even with my prep, I couldn't get the rings out. So after the first coat had dried, I went back in with Dixie Belle's clear coat to seal the first coat of paint before applying the second to stop the bleed through. Oh, I see Boone is watching me behind me here. After the first coat had dried, I realized it just was too bright for the inspiration pick, and I went back in and added some Bunker Hill blue, which is a deeper navy, and I mixed that up to create my second coat. I took my newly mixed paint, which is a slightly darker hue, and applied it over my furniture, and here I am applying it over the top, over the clear coat that had dried. I then went in with a sanding sponge and very lightly sanded the piece to give it a very smooth finish. At this point, I thought all I had to do was wax the piece and I was done, but I was wrong. My son and I moved the piece into the other room to take its pictures, and that is when I stepped back and realized it just still was not dark enough. So I took an even darker color, which is called Midnight, and a brush and some water, and I added it over the wax. I just buffed it in, and you'll see the result. It's really pretty, and it's a much better representation of the inspiration pick I was given by my customer. I always add paint over wax, and one of my highest viewed videos is how to add a wash over a waxed finish, and I will link that in the description below. The finishing touch was the hardware, and I had vintage hardware in my stash that mimicked the vintage hardware on the inspiration pick. The last step was to once again wax the piece after the wash had dried and to add the new hardware. And here is the final result. I hope that you agree that the piece of furniture now closely resembles the inspiration pick that was given to me by my customer, and she's thrilled. I hope you've liked this video, and if you have, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe.